Hi you guys, so today we are going to do the sound of a gunshot. Okay, so first of all, what I'm searching for is any sound with a quick attack and a slower decay. Okay, so let's open like 3 contacts, and I'm gonna also open Groove Agent. Let's start with Groove Agent. Okay, so here we have, I'm gonna choose the vinyl kit. Alright, and I really want to cover all the range of the spectrums. I'm gonna choose a few sounds. Okay, so I chose the kick, the snare for the mid-range. I'm gonna choose this one because his pitch is going down, and the hi-hat. Okay, so it already sounds a little bit like a gunshot. Alright, so I recorded it, and let's just make sure they all start from the same place. Okay, cool. There it is. Alright, so render in place. Let's try and squeeze that one. Alright. And we're going to use some EQ. I'm gonna cut it, and I'm gonna fade it with this curve shape linear. Okay. Alright, now the only thing that is missing, I want to use the pitch offline processing, and what I'm going to do is to take this one from up and basically what it's going to do now is going from here plus 9 to here minus 15 very fast. So let's just check how it sounds. Okay, that's not that great, so I'm going to change the algorithm here. Okay, alright, that's better. Maybe if we do this. Right, I'm just trying all kinds of things here. Alright, so this one I'm going to delete. This one I'm going to leave. So let's hear the difference. Alright, and for the first one, let's just bounce this one. And for the first one, I'm going to just try and change the algorithm to hear how it sounds. Okay, so Right, I like this one. So bounce and preview format. No, solo format. All right. And bounce. Few kinds of shotguns. All right, so let's just mute this one and let's continue. Okay, so I'm going to choose a random kit. Alright, I'm just trying things here. I've never done this with this kit. Render in place. And I'm gonna do pretty much the same thing here. So I'm gonna squeeze it all the way here. Maybe not so much. Alright, and let's see if we can turn this into a real sounding gunshot. Okay, so process, pitch, shift. Alright. Alright, that's better. Bounce. Let's try and squeeze it a little bit more. Alright, that can be a nice second layer, okay? Alone, it doesn't sound really good, alright? It's nice, but not really what I'm looking for. But with the other shot that we did, it gives it much more power. Okay, so let's try another layer. This time let's maybe try and use the action strike hit. So I want to add some bass to the sound, so let's try and use the action strikes. Let's see how it sounds. Okay, render in place. So let's play with the EQ. First of all, we're gonna remove some of the too low frequency. Right? Let's see how it sounds. Right now it's too large, like it's too long and too large. So I'm gonna squeeze this. Alright, that's better. I bounced it. Let's try and use some compression. So I'm gonna use the VC76. And I also want this one to be pitched down. Okay, so it's very important to have a similar sound to each layer. Alright, that's better. let's hear everything together. Alright, that's a nice gunshot. Now I'm gonna add some Foleys. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna do some sounds, some funny sounds with my mouth. Okay, and then I'm gonna try and use those as another high pitched layer. Okay, so alright, so that's was a lot of wind that came into the microphone. All right, so we got rid of all the hum, and let's see how it sounds now. Okay, so let's choose one or two or more. All right, that's better. All right, another thing that we can do is to write this kind of automation. So I'm having a notch here, and I'm moving it, the frequency, fast to the lower part of the spectrum. All right, so let's just try and just make it more accurate with automation. Right, so I'm playing with the pitch here. All right, and I can also play with the layers just to have like. All right, so it does add something that I want to hear in a gunshot. All right. Now, usually you're not just gonna hear the gunshot, you also want a little bit of the gun, like maybe a piece of metal or something that you can record to hear the magazine and the pieces of metal that clink together. Alright, so I'm gonna take that, just put it here. Okay, so you could also use this as one of the layers to create a reload sound. Okay, so I'm going to take this and let's just try and do things with this. So right, so we already have this sound. What about this? Alright, so it gives us a little bit of this metal sound. Alright, so let's hear how it sounds if I add it. Right? Alright, now I'm gonna just export this part here. Alright, so this is our sound. And now I can continue and do all kinds of things with it. So first of all, let's compress it a little bit. Alright. Just make it a little bit more evil. Alright. And cool. Now, what we can do is create multiple layers. Okay, if I do that. All right, so here we have an automatic assault rifle gun, and we can also play with its layers. So if we add, for example, this layer, okay. Right, it gives us a very powerful sound. Now, the only thing here is that it's too repetitive, like every sample sounds exactly the same. That's a little bit weird to your ears. So what I'm going to do is to create like a phase sound flanger. Now this is very hard. Let's just put the mix to the minimum. Alright, so this gives us a little bit of movement, and now I'm gonna add also some volume curves to just make every sample sound a little different, okay, to make it more real. If you click here, you can choose line, parabola, sine, triangle, and square. So I'm gonna choose sine, and I'm gonna just do, if I press shift and I drag it, I can change the curve. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this. Let's do it very, very subtle. Alright, you can hear how it sounds not exactly the same. Alright, so when I put those two together, alright, it sounds a little bit different. Now if I add this to the end, you can hear the last click of the empty shot. Okay. Now what you can also do is create another layer. Okay, let's use this one. Okay, so right. So I'm gonna cut it exactly like the other one. this time I'm going to use a special tool that is available only in Nuendo randomizer. Okay, so in the randomizer I can choose, I have impact, so how fast and strong is the impact of each sample. So I'm going to put it in 1. You can actually choose how much to change. So impact, pitch, impact, color, and timing. Now I don't want to change the timing, so I'm just going to put it to 0. Let's see how it changed the sound. All right. And let's lower the volume of this one. Alright, so that's about it. You can have here one shot. Alright, you can have here multiple shots. Right, you can have a machine gun or rifle. And that's it. Now, if you want, you can have like a unlimited kind of sound if you just change your starting point. Okay, so instead of using this kit, you can use another kit, any kit you want, and then by using the same process it will have a completely different sound. Now if you want to create a few versions of each sound, you can change the way you process it. Okay, you can change the algorithm of the pitch. Okay, remember we talked about the pitch shift, we have the algorithm here. So every time you change the algorithm, it sounds a little different, right? You can play with the layers, you can add some Foley, you can add some sounds using your mouth. You can do all kinds of different crazy things to create different sounds. So that's it. Don't forget to subscribe, press like if you liked it. If you have any questions, you can DM me or a comment below. Thanks, bye bye.